Hey, how goes it? It's me, the real Aja P. Don't play with it, don't be dishonest. Ay, still not understanding. Y'all, it's been so long, so long since I have said that. Oh, it has been a long time coming. I really miss being in front of the camera. I miss editing. I miss doing videos. So I'm so sorry for being gone, but a lot has happened. And I will talk about it. I'm going to be doing like a life update video and everything. So that is a lot, but I do miss y'all. I have so much to talk about. We don't forget. We don't forget her, okay? She is still here, and since I'm doing this video and doing videos again, she said might as well get a check. So of course you are gonna hear her. I hope y'all missed her. Before I do get into video again, like I did say, I am gonna be doing a life update because I did get myself a car since the last time y'all saw that with the Meg Thee Stallion concert. So I will talk about that and what has been going on to why I could not sit in this chair. So I'm going to be doing a life update video soon. So please look out for that. And please like, comment, and subscribe. Become a part of the family, okay? Go in the comments and say, I like your lashes. I like your hair. I like your hat.
I hate your braids. I hate your lashes. Bitch, I hate that you gotta make filters at night, bitch.
You know that still is our thing, even though I have not been here. You see that there's a lot. I have a mic now. I'm trying that out. I got a new ring light. That's why I could not do this. So, y'all, these videos are going to be coming if y'all really do want them. And one of the videos is now a story time. So let's get into that. Without further ado, without any more rambling, let's get into this video, y'all. Let's. So I have, y'all, the reason why I've been gone partially is because I have been in my I hate men era, and that actually takes a lot out of you, which is very much surprising. And this is one of the reasons why. It is very long. Telling this again, it gets in your mental. It's very draining, but honestly, it's very entertaining. Like, if it did not happen to me, I'll be like, oh my gosh. But since it did, I understand how draining it is, but I have to tell y'all this. Y'all, in this lesson, you're going to get, just be careful. You never know who knows somebody. So let's get into this video. So the guy that we're going to call in this video, his name is going to be Nelly. Not because he looked like Nelly, not because he sang like Nelly, not because he's from St. Louis like Nelly, not of that. It's because he lived in Plum Nelly, and that's basically the boonies, and basically that is all the way out there, okay? He lived very, very far, so we're going to name him Nelly. So before even meeting Nelly, I was working and everything. I mostly do stock for my job. So I'm mostly doing early shifts, and I'm there 5 a.m. and most of the time the store opens up at like 8 or 9. So by the time the store is really getting started, I'm leaving because I've been there since 5 a.m. So I see him and I'm just like, okay, it's like not like fresh meat, but it's like, okay, fresh meat, like, okay, something to look at, somebody new to look at. And I'm like, hopefully he does stock with us because, you know, we need it. So I look at him and I'm like, okay, he's cute. And one bad thing that got me at first was the fact of he good smell, like very good smell. Well, I was intrigued by him because he smelled nice and his deep voice. That's what kind of got me hooked a little bit to turn his ways because I loved his cologne and he had a deep voice, deep voice. So I'm like, okay, you know, I see him, but I'm like, okay. Time goes on, I continue to work. I don't see him as much, but of course I'm still working. And then one day he comes in late, but that's, yeah, he comes in late and I see him and I'm like, okay, let me get to know him a little more. So I'm starting to talk to him and I'm like, okay. Like, he worked the next day after that and we're hanging out. He comes early in the morning, like 5 a.m. and we're doing stock and he's playing music. And that's, y'all know, I love music. I love music. And he's playing 90s R&B. So I'm just like, oh gosh, okay, I see you. I see you. Smell good. You know, kind of good conversation and everything like that. You old head, you know, with the music and stuff. Deep voice. So I'm like, okay, cool. So One day while we are working, he comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, is it okay like I could get a ride? I don't have a car and I'm mostly doing Ubers and I just, need a ride back home. It's not too far from here and everything." So I'm like, "Cool." I didn't mind because after work I really don't do too much. So I was like, "Fine, I'll give him that ride." But I had to get gas. So I'm like, "If you don't mind, I have to get gas first and everything." He's like, "Cool, no problem. I'm here for the ride." Cool. So we stopped by this gas station, Circle K, actually, that is by the job. So we stop, and I'm going to pay at the pump, but he's going inside. And that's when I noticed that I couldn't pay at the pump, that I had to go inside to pay. So I'm like, okay, no problem. So I go inside and I go to that Circle K all the time. So I know the people behind the counter. So I just walk on in and I go straight to the counter. And I could see that he's like looking at like food and everything. So I'm like, take your time. I'm going to pump this gas. So I go straight. I talk to the girl behind the counter. We always talk, good laughs and everything. And I go back out to pump my gas. So I go outside and I'm pumping. And then he is coming out. So he sits in the car and I finish pumping the gas and everything and we leave. And I don't know. People say I have a good vibe, but I don't know what it was for him to be like,
I slept with that girl before.
Okay.
kudos. Hey, okay. So I'm just like, oh, he was like, yeah, I used to work with Circle K and we used to work together. And, that was like a little fling and everything like that. I slept with her a couple times.
Okay.
Okay, like what you telling me for? Like, okay, like I'm glad you're comfortable enough to tell me that, but what you telling me for? And the fact of like I was trying to get to know him, I didn't
Need to calm down. Everything's fine.
Amanda.
I'm an adult.
which is bad, but I didn't really take it as a red flag because I'm like, okay, at least he's being honest. Like, dumb. But it's like, at least he's being honest. So, hey, that's cool with me. I don't really know her. And that was before I knew him. So I'm just like, okay. But I still was like, okay, what you telling me for? So we get on the road and we're driving to his job. Well, no, we're not driving to his job. We're driving on the highway to come to find out that we're going the opposite way. So I had to get off an exit and turn right back around and go the way to his job. And it wasn't really too far, but it was just like, really? So we go to his house, Plum Nelly. And that's why his name is Nelly, because it's in Plum Nelly. It's in the boonies. It's in the boondocks. It's in the middle of, not in the middle of nowhere, but it's out there. Like it's just out there. No problem with me. I'm just dropping you off. But it was the fact it's like, wow, he really lives in the middle of nowhere. But I found a different way to my house. I'm like, you're not really that far from my house. It's just going this way. It gave that you lived in the boonies and you still live in the boonies. I drop him off. Cool, no problem. And a couple of days go by. I don't really see him at work because come to find out he has another job. So he was working at that job, not really coming to this one. Cool, no problem. And then I see him at work again. So I see him at work again. He's doing a morning shift and let's playing music. Good vibes, stuff like that. And he comes to me again and he was like, hey, can I have a ride? Again, I did not mind because it's not too far and I wasn't doing anything after work. Still wanting to kind of get to know him. So I don't know why. I don't know. Still to this day, I don't know why. But something told me to stop by my house to pick up something. What I needed, I really did not need. I'm not really going to say, but it's like I really did not need. But it's like, just stop by the house to pick it up. And I'm just like, why? But okay, whatever. I'll stop by the house and I'll pick it up. Don't know why, but I will. So I told him like towards the end of the shift, I'm like, hey, I'm just gonna have to stop by my house real quick. It's not too far. I realize it's not too far from your house from when I had came back and everything. So it's gonna be on the way there. Perfectly fine. And he was like, cool, it's no problem. Again, he's asking for the ride, so he did not mind. So I'm like, okay, cool. So we get off and we're going towards his house, but at my house. And we're going to my house and I stop at my house and before like I pull in the driveway and before I could like back up so then like all I have to do is get in the car and like drive off. I drive in my driveway and he goes,
I've been here before.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
say what? School me, say what? Like, what? Like, what do you mean you've been here before? What do you mean you've been here before? So I stopped the car, like, abruptly. I just stopped. And, of course, I'm in the driver's side, so this is the passenger side. So I stopped the car and I look at him and I said, what? He was like, yeah, I've been here before. So I'm just like, well, with who? Like, how? Because with my house, which I always will love, and growing up, when I have a family and kids, my house is going to be the same way. It's always open, not like to everybody, like it's a homeless shelter, but with our friends and cousins, like in my old story times, the one that pulled the blicky out on us, he came in our house, and that first day, like really meeting him because he was my brother's friend, he stayed with us for months. So it's just like my brother stayed here, a friend of his stayed here, another friend, the same one that pulled the blicky, he stayed there, sister stayed here, my cousin stayed here. I have best friends that were always over, cousins, that's all. So it's just like there's so many people that came and stayed in this house or been in this house. Who are you talking about? Like, how, who? So while I'm asking this, he's like looking out the window. He's not facing me. He's like looking out the window. So I'm like, well, who was it? Like, because it's not with me, of course. So like, who was it? And he finally like describes, because he can't really remember the person's name, so he just switches. But he describes the person, and all I could say was, oh my gosh. Like, that is all I said while I was walking out of my car door, and I slammed the door behind me. Because it was like, whatever inkling, if I still did want to get to know him or whatever, that is over now. That is kaput. Like, I would say that's too close to home, but that is home. Like, that's kaput. Like, you've been in my house. Like, what are you talking about? What is going on here? So I was just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I remember going inside, getting what I needed, and I came back, and that car ride was about silent. It was about quiet. I did not have much to say because I was just so upset. And I didn't have a reason to be upset because, again, just like the one at the cashier at the register at the gas station, this was before I even knew you, so I can't really be upset, but it's just the fact that it was so close to home that I just can't cross them lines. Like, I just can't cross them lines. I can't do that. So I had dropped him off home, and I had came back, and I didn't talk to him for like a couple of days. Like, I just could not talk to him for a couple of days. I couldn't. In the midst of those couple of days, I had a friend who was going to be visiting me, and her name is Bianca. She plays a part in this story as well. So, little small story. Me and Bianca have been friends for about 5 years. Still are friends. I talk to her every day. Actually, she was the one that told me to give her this nickname. I talk to her every day. We are close. We met on the internet. Like, we met on the internet online. We've known each other for 2 years before, like, while doing those videos on live and everything. Finally met each other, and she was like only 20 minutes from where I was living, and we've been friends ever since. That was about 5 years ago. So cut to, I dropped him off and everything. So I haven't seen him, haven't talked to him for a couple of days, but I was just like, it still bothered me that you were in my home so close to home. But again, I had to get with the realization that he did not know me, and this was before me. But I knew now. I was like, I have to just cut it. I just have to cut it. He then asked me, because he was working at work one day, he asked me again. He was like, hey, is it okay if I could get a ride? And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I don't mind. I gave him a ride. And, while talking to him, once I had dropped him off, he was just telling me about, like, his life and where he came from, and that he stayed in our hometown, and, what schools he had went to. So I'm just like, oh, you went to this school? Oh my gosh. So he's like, what's the matter? I'm like, you probably know my auntie because she was working at that school. And he was like, oh, what's her name? And I'm like, no, because if you do know her, that would just make me mad even more. And he was like, no, really, what's her name? Told him her name, boom, knew her. He was like, oh, her, like, what if her name was like Miss Shaniqua, like, this tall, and she had the short haircut. I said, you know what? It's done. It is done. It's just whatever. It's whatever. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just kind of getting over them, and I'm tired of them. So a couple of days afterwards, my friend, she had finally came into town because she was going to be visiting, and She was like, hey, I'm going to be here on this day. You want to meet up? And I was like, oh, I have work those 2 days. We can meet after those 2 days and everything. But I worked those days and I got off early on that second day to where I just, called her up. I'm like, you know what? If you're not busy, let's hang out today. And she's like, I wasn't going to do anything. I was going to be bored. I was like, yeah, I said, why not? Just something took over me. I was like, why not? So I got ready and she picked me up and we are hanging out having girl time. She just picked me up. We are riding. I am so excited. Oh my gosh. So while she's talking, she was like, girl, it was bad. I came here because, I'm trying to I'm going up this hill to fix my marriage.
I don't know what this is all about, but I'm going up this mountain to save my marriage.
Just like in Tyler Perry. So I'm just like, wait, what's going on? She's like, me and my dude that I've been knowing for like long time, we just having problems and everything. I don't know what's going on, da da da. So I'm just like, girl, forget these men, because I just dropped a dude I was talking to not long ago and everything. So I was before talking to this guy that I did drop off. So she was like, yeah, I'm done. And I was like, yeah. She was like, and on top of that, he's a Pisces. So I'm like, yeah, girl, my dude was a Pisces too and everything like that. Like, I don't deal with Pisces. I don't deal with them. She was like, yeah, I'm tired of, she was like, and I have a real problem with like dark skinned dreadheads. I said, yeah, the same guy I was talking to, he was this, dark skin with dreads too, like, crazy, right? Crazy. And she was like, yeah, girl, I just can't do that no more and everything. I was like, yeah, which is still true to this day that I'm trying to work on. I'm really trying to work on. I was like, I don't know what it is, but I have a problem with dudes with all kids, no car. Like, I don't know what the problem is. I'd be like, not like I could fix them, but it's like we could do something. Like I could, fix them up and just you stay with them when they like this, and then I don't know what my problem is. Please help me. But like, yeah, I was like, all kids, no car and everything like that. She was like, yeah, because he ain't got no car either. I'm looking at her now because I'm just like, now hold on. Now hold on. Oh, you messing with my man? Like, it's just like we cool and all, but what's T? You came down here to like talk to him because I haven't talked to him in a couple of months because I dropped it. So what's T? So she was like, I'm thinking that. So I'm like, girl, what he look like? Like, what? Girl, show me a little picture. What he look like? So she's putting up a picture, and I'm like, I don't know who this is. Like, it's not my man. So like in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm good because it's not who I was messing with. It's not my man and everything like that. But I'm like, he looked kind of familiar, but it ain't my man. Okay, whatever. So she's like, yeah, girl, I'm coming up this hill to fix my marriage and everything like that. Like, we've been talking back and forth for a long time. Da, 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 da. So I'm just like, something in me just asked, girl, what's his name? So she goes, girl, his name is Nelly. And there it is. I said, huh? And I immediately started laughing. And now she's doing one of me. She's looking at me like, what's so funny? What, she asked, she was like, what, you know him? Like, you mess with him? And I was like, girl, not me. But like, and I said, like, who? So I'm like, girl, let me tell you. And I broke it down to her, everything, telling her what's going on. And she's like, what? I'm like, yeah, girl. But I said no for talking to him and everything. And also, too, when I did stop talking to him, I was like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if I got the ick after that second situation of who he messed with. But looking at him and starting to talk to him a little bit more, I'm like, your mindset is not on the same with me. Like, your mindset is not it. Like, it is not like what I thought it was. And then the more people that I know who you mess with, I was like, it's giving pass around, and I don't like it. I do want to apologize if it does show that it's changing up a lot. It's because this phone kept running out of storage and I had to make room because I am going to do this video, okay? Add to this video. Gay pass around, and no offense to him, again, because he could do whatever he want with his body. I'm not going to be like how we look at women. It's like, oh, you can't have too many people. You can't have too many bodies. It's not a problem. Do what you want with your body, with whoever you want, whenever you want. It's just the fact of once those people that you are messing with are becoming people that I know on a personal level or really know, that's when I'm just like, yeah, no. So we're just like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe this. Like, girl, this and this and this and this and this and that. And she's telling me, like, their relationship, I can't say because that is their business. Honey, if she ever does YouTube, then you can ask her about that, but not on this one. But yeah, we're just talking about that, like, oh my gosh. So I'm like, that's crazy, real crazy. Because he asked me today to take him to work. Even though I'm off and everything, he asked me for a ride. And I'm like, how crazy that is that you asked me for a ride to work. Yeah, it's just a lot. It's just a lot. So she's like, really? I'm like, yeah, girl. Like, he asked me for a ride. So she was like, let's go see him. I'm like, whoop, you want to? She was like, yeah, let's go see him. I'm like, honey, if you want to pop up, then honey, we could pop up. Mary Poppins, you can call me. We could pop up out of nowhere. There's no problem with me. So we go to my job that he is working, and we pass by it. Like, we get out, but we walk past. Like, she just had too many emotions, too many was going on. I guess they did it end on good terms at that point. Like, they were still talking, but it was bad energy. So she was just like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't. I said, girl, you better than me, because I sure enough would have walked in, because we just found out, like, it's not like he felt like we were setting him up or nothing like that. Like, no, it's legit. The world is the size of a decimal point, because it's just like, we didn't know. I would have walked in and still act like we didn't know. And I've been like, this is my friend. Whole time I know that, honey, yeah, it's just so much. So she's like, I can't go in. So I was like, girl, we leaving here with something.
I'm leaving here with something.
Like, we leaving here with something. We doing something. We leaving here with something. So I was like, okay, I'm going in the store anyway. So she was like, well, I was like, yeah, I'm going in the store anyway. And I was like, I'll kind of briefly bring it up. And if he does anything, then he does something, I'll record it. So I was like, I'll get you a drink, a soda and stuff like that. We'll just see. So he was at the register at the time. So I got my phone and everything, acting like, it's nothing, da 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 and stuff. And she's like, oh, because I have makeup on, and he never seen me with makeup. So he was like, oh, where are you going? What you doing? And everything like that. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just here with a friend. She just came in town. She used to live here, but she's just coming in to visit and stuff like that. And I'm kind of hitting some things to where it's like, you're gonna have to pick up what I'm dropping. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna have to connect and everything. But men are slow, because he did not do anything. He did not know. He was just like, oh, okay, well, y'all be safe and everything like that. Y'all have fun and stuff. So I'm just like, think this about a minute. So I go in the car and I show her the video, and it's just like, it's not giving anything. Like, he's acting like he did not know. Once again, there is more into that side. If she ever does YouTube and tells what happened, that is her, but that has nothing to deal with me. So at that point and everything, like, once he comes back to work, I'm very much platonic, because it's just like, I know everybody about, now I won't even say everybody you slept with, but there's so many people that I know that you have slept with, and it's like, if I find out anymore, it's gonna, I can't deal. Like, I cannot escape you. I cannot escape you at all. I cannot escape you.
Let me in. Let me in.
Every time when I think like you don't, it's just like, it's more. And this was like, well, all this happened within a whole month. I wasn't going to say which whole month, but it happened within a whole month. And it's just like, day after day, and days go by, and then something else happens, and then something else happens. And I know it was draining. It was draining for real. It's just like, I cannot escape you at all. I'm running and I cannot escape you. So a couple of days had went past, and I'm just kind of like platonic with him. I'm just like, yeah, that's when I was already kind of, but it's like, I'm really not getting into I hate men. I really do. I can't. I can't. I hate men. I just hate them. So while I'm working, we get another hire that comes in, and that's where I stop. I'm going to stop it right there, because that is a whole nother story of why I hate men. He came in, and I thought it was over. I thought it was over for the men. They were going to leave me alone, and little did I know, that was just the tip of the iceberg of what I just dealt with. Well, that's all I have for this video or this part for this story time. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Again, become part of this family so you can see some more. I will be doing the other part of this video soon, and as well as I will be doing a life update for y'all to see. Hopefully, I will have enough storage for everything. Let's see how this goes. But again, like, comment, and subscribe. Become a part of the family. Follow me on my social medias. That is going to be in the description box also below. And yeah, watch my other videos. Until then, I will see y'all later. Love you, mean it. Bye.